Morning. So good to see you guys. Again, my name is Chris, new kids pastor here. I've been a kids pastor now for going on 6 years, and I've always wanted to lead a baby dedication ceremony. I've never done it before. So when Felix asked me if I would do it this week, I was really excited because I love this type of stuff. I love getting to help parents understand the importance of their time with their child. And today is kind of like a double blessing for me because I get to lead my first baby dedication ceremony, so go easy on me, okay? It's my first time. But today I also get to dedicate my own daughter to the Lord this morning, so it's a really kind of exciting time along with some other families this morning. And even though I'm 27, okay, I look kind of young, thank you very much, and my daughter's going to be 4 months in a few weeks. Some of you guys might be thinking, well, Chris, what kind of parental advice could you be giving to some of the families that are dedicating their kids this morning? And I'm sure you get enough parental advice from everybody else, am I right? You don't really need my help on that. I'm here more to give you more like a challenge from a pastoral standpoint. And even if you're not dedicating your kids this morning, I just ask that you would open up your heart for just the next few minutes of what I have to share, because even if your kid is already 10, 12, or in college or graduated and have their own kids, it's never too late as a parent to learn something that could potentially change your kid's life forever. So really quick, we're going to have some families join us here in a few minutes, but I want you to travel back in time with me really quick, because parenting is a wonderful thing. But travel back in time with me in your own mind of when you first found out you were pregnant. How exciting you might have felt, or how scared you might have been. Maybe all those emotions wrapped into one. And as my wife and I were going through our months of pregnancy, it was fun to imagine, and I'm sure you asked the same question. You wondered, what will my child look like? Anybody with me on that? What will my child look like? Will my child look as beautiful as her, like this, as beautiful as she can be? Or will she look as studly as her dad? Just saying. Or if it's a boy, will he have an easy temperament? Or if it's a girl, will she have the worst of our tempers all rolled into one, and she's going to tell us how she feels all the time? I'm just saying. But as the time went by during pregnancy, it seemed to go by very fast, but also very slow at the same time. And it was fun to imagine, what will she look like? And then finally the time came, we were able to hold our little girl, and it's like time stood still. And I promise you, those first 2 weeks were the hardest, I think, ever, because we had sleepless nights. We were living out of a suitcase, so we're stepping over clothes. We're wearing spit up on our shirt like it's a new accessory. It was tough. It was really tough. And there was a time, and even now, where we sometimes might ask ourselves, and as a new family with a new child, you might be wondering too, what have we gotten ourselves into? Seriously, how did this happen? Well, okay, we know how this happened. Guy and girl meet, We know how this happened, but how did it happen to where God chose us to be the caretakers of this little person? And, how could he? He didn't even give us an instruction manual. What's with that? How did this happen, and what have we gotten ourselves into? And I'm here to remind you guys as families that you've gotten yourself into a relationship. And even though it's a relationship, it's a relationship with this tiny little human being, but it's a relationship nonetheless. And, don't take it lightly. There's a lot riding on this relationship with this little baby. All past experiences you might have had with relationships, don't even worry about that, because there's a lot riding on this one. It's complicated. It is very complicated. And all that stuff that comes with parenting, all the do's and don'ts, or what people tell you to do, it pales in comparison to this relationship that you have with this kid. And now we're about to have our girl's 4-month little anniversary, if you will. And there's times where Melody and I are struggling to get the house clean. Is anybody with me on that? You're struggling to get dishes done. You're struggling to get laundry done. And if you happen to get laundry done, hey, it's clean, but it's not folded. Or if it's folded, it's not put away. And sometimes you might ask yourself, have I done anything that truly matters this week? Maybe you've wondered that. Maybe it's just me and Melody. I don't know. But have you done anything that truly matters this week? And I don't know, but maybe before, baby, if you were in sales, maybe you measured your week by how many sales you did that week, or how much money you got in your bank account. But now after, baby, we are literally, as new parents, measuring our weeks by how many dirty diapers we changed. Anybody else with me? Or how much dishes were actually done that week, or did the house get swept this week? But yes, the answer is yes, you have done something that truly matters this week, because you were present. You were there with your kids. And being present with your kids is probably the most important thing you can do with your kids in this stage in life, and in every stage that follows. I love object lessons, and I love Pastor Felix and what he does all the time, so I'm kind of trying to mimic him right now. But essentially, y'all stay with me on this, there's 936 weeks by the time a child is born to the time they graduate from high school. And studies show, and it's truly proven, that before a kid even reaches that age of 18, they've already decided in their heart who God is to them. I mean, it depends on how they were raised, if they truly believe in God or not. 936 weeks, it goes by fast. Seems like a lot, but it goes by very fast. So I have here 936 marbles in this jar. What would it be if my daughter's going to be 4 months pretty soon, if I took out a marble every single week, and as I saw this jar go down and I saw her grow up, I guarantee you that if I could visually see how much time I had left with my little girl, I would make the most of it. Let me put it in a little bit more perspective for you. If your kid is already 9 years old, you've already lost half of your marbles. You're down to 468. You guys have heard that phrase before, right? I'm losing my marbles. Well, we're all losing our marbles, in, so to speak, because you got 936, and then if they're 9 years old, you're already at 468. Now, if you currently serve in the kids ministry, or you have served in the kids ministry at the King's House, could you stand for just 1 second, please? Just stand. Can we give these guys a round of applause, please? I mean, even if you served in the front or in the back, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And for all those who are serving right now, even in the back right now, we literally can't do what we do here at the King's House without these wonderful people. And there's still room for more. Because here's the thing. As a church, on any given year, on any given child, we only have 40 weeks to minister to the heart of one child. 40 weeks, guys. That's not a lot. And that's taking into consideration sick days, vacation days, and holidays. We only got 40 weeks. And in the short time that I've been a kids pastor, I've seen so many families have these marble jars flip-flopped. And they think that it's the church's primary responsibility to teach the kids who God is, because they think that we have the most time with them. But the opposite's true. We only got them for 40 weeks. You've got them for 936. And so we want to help make the most of that for you guys. And just being present is the most important thing you can do in their lives to make the time matter most. Now, you might be saying, Chris, thanks a lot for throwing that in my face, that there's all this time that's slipping by. You might ask, okay, what is the number one thing that my child needs most? Because as parents, we want the best for our kids. Is that right? We want the best for our kids. So what's the thing that our kid needs most? And the answer is both complicated and simple, and it's universal. And the answer is love. Your kids need love. And not just any love, they need love from you. And here's the thing. This is why I think parenting is so wonderful, because God has chosen us to be strategically placed in the lives of these children to show them love, but to show them love unconditionally because of the love He has shown to us. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And so I like to also wonder, now that we have our little girl and we're seeing her grow and develop so fast, maybe you're right there with Melody and I, and we wonder, the next question is, what will they be like? What will they be like in the future? Who will they become? And the answer is, it's too big of a mystery for us. It's too big of a mystery for us. Let me backtrack really quick. You might also ask yourself, will my life ever be the same again now that I have this little person in my life? And y'all know the answer to that one, right? No. Your life will never be the same, because kids are rapidly changing every minute. And if you're my daughter, this is completely true. 1 minute you're happy and you're laughing and you're making the cutest noises, and the next minute, guys, I kid you not, the atmosphere doesn't change, the temperature doesn't change, no one touched her, she's popping out that big bottom lip, big alligator tears are streaming down her face, and she's making the most pitiful noises, and the next minute she's happy again. Kids are changing by the minute, because why? They're learning about their atmosphere, their personalities are developing, their bodies are developing and changing, their minds are developing and changing, but better yet, having kids, not only are they changing, but having kids changes us as parents. Am I right? That's amazing. It's really amazing. And it's difficult. Am I right on that one? Parents, join me on this one. Am I right? It's difficult. Again, my daughter is not even 4 months old yet. I know I've got toddler stages that are coming. I know I've got teenage stages that are coming. It's going to be difficult, but you've never heard someone say, hey, I went through this season of my life and it was really, really challenging, but it was really easy, so I was changed for the best. No. We're always changed for the best by going through something that's difficult. So, no. Your life is never going to be the same again. My life is never going to be the same again. But would you really want it to be? Not at all. Not at all. So it's really fun to imagine, who are they going to be in the future? Who is my child going to be in the future? And I like to think of it this. The Bible says that God is the author and the finisher of our faith. And I like to imagine that God is up in heaven and he's got our life in front of him as a book with open pages and blank pages, and he's literally writing out the things that are going to happen in our life and who we're going to meet and who we're going to encounter and when we're going to get married and when we're going to die. And it's really cool for me to just imagine, this is just my kids' ministry brain just going, but it's really cool that God chooses us as parents to kind of be the co-authors, if you will, of the book that our kids are going. See, you are the most influential person in your child's life that will determine their future. It's amazing. By the time they look like this picture right up here as a little innocent baby, to the time they look like this picture right here. See, you're the most influential person in your kid's life to determine their future from the time they are in graduation to the time they reach this area in their life. I'm going to close with this. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 says this. You guys probably know this, but it says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Moses was telling a group of parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters this one day, and he was telling them that if you really want to truly follow after God and obey him, this is what you got to do. You got to love God with everything inside of you, and then love your neighbor as yourself, and then you've got to teach and instill this into your own children. And even then, in Deuteronomy 6, they were parents who didn't feel like they were equipped enough to teach their kids about God. I mean, there are parents today who don't think that they're equipped enough to teach their kids about God. Maybe they think, I'm not a pastor. I didn't go to Bible school. I can't teach my kid about God. Or I don't really understand the Bible when I read it myself. How am I supposed to teach my kid about God? And Moses went on to even encourage the children of Israel then. And God uses his same words to encourage parents today that you do it in your everyday life. When you're walking down the street and you're at the park, remind your kid who God is, that he made the stars, he made the sun, he made the trees. When you're driving in the car or you're having bath time or you're sitting at the dinner table together, take these opportunities in everyday life to tell God and to tell these kids that there's a God who made them, there's a God who loves them, and there's a God who wants to have a relationship with him. Now, as a church, we want to link arms with each family in this room, if you will, to see that we make the best of the 936 weeks that your kids have. Now, we're not going to do it for you. That's not our job. It's the parents' job that has the most time, but I'm so thankful to be a part of a church that wants to come alongside each family, regardless of the age of their child, and partner with them to make the most of the time. I mean, I can always rely on Pastor Felix or Miss Jolene, or I can always rely on Blake or Hannah or any one of us, our other pastors, to ask them for parental advice. And I'm so thankful to be a part of this. So we want to partner with you to make the best of this 936 weeks, because we want to see your kid grow up just like you, to be someone who loves God with all of their heart, who loves other people just as Jesus has loved other people, and to live a life that's truly devoted to God. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for all those who are dedicating their children to go ahead and join me right up here on the front. And any of your family members that might have come to celebrate this morning, just go ahead and just join us right up here at the front. And as they're making their way, I have something very special that I want to let you guys know. You'll find it in your bulletin. But if you're not dedicating your child this morning, there's something very special that you can also do. It's called the Legacy Marble Countdown app. It's a free app you can download. You literally plug in your kid's graduation day of high school, and it will count down by the milliseconds how much time you have left with your child before they graduate high school. And today our families are walking away with not the traditional little Bible that their kids will probably never read, and more than likely parents won't ever read because they're super, super tiny. You got to have a magnifying glass to look at them. But they're walking away with their own jars filled with 936 marbles. And the families, this is their job, is to take these jars and to display them, decorate them if they want to, but to display them in a family room where it's always seen. And they're going to go home and they're going to take out as many marbles as their child is old. One marble equals 1 week. And as time goes by and that marble jar decreases every week that we're taking out another marble, we're seeing the marbles go down, but we're seeing our children raise up. I guarantee you with this visual aid, the families are going to do a whole lot more with the time that God has given them. So again, if you're not joining us this morning, you can download that app and it has the same effect. It's constantly in your hand. It's constantly in your face. Guys, thank you so much for letting me share with you this morning the baby dedication. I'm going to pass it off to Pastor Blake. Thank you guys for celebrating with us as we dedicate these children to the Lord.